The sword hums in the player's hand. It remembers, the old priest whispers. The runes along the blade's edge flicker faintly, glowing red. And it's angry. Hey everyone, I'm Kelfecil, professional narrative and game designer, and today we're diving into one of the most overlooked yet powerful parts of fantasy RPG storytelling: magical items. And how they carry narrative weight and, a lot more beyond the just +1 modifiers and glowing effects. This is a design episode that might hit especially hard for game masters and designers who love building story-rich worlds but find themselves handing out too much loot that doesn't really feel special. So let's fix that. Too often, magic items in ttrpgs are mechanical rewards. They are numbers on a sheet, extra damage, resistances, charges, but narrative-driven design opens up an opportunity. You can even make them characters in their own right. Think of the most iconic magic items in fiction. The One Ring in The Lord of the Rings, the Master Sword in Zelda, Mjolnir, wielded by Thor. Each of these isn't just a stick. They come with stories, they carry baggage, they represent choices, burdens, and destinies. They actually matter. I know I use that word a lot, and you will hear it a lot more actually. And in your adventures, your magic items can do that too. A memorable magic item isn't just useful, it's unforgettable. It's the thing that players talk about long after the session ends. It's the thing they fight over, mourn over, and hide or fear even. So let's go over some simple but powerful ways to build magic items that have story presence, not just stat boosts. So first, we could give it a past. Every great item begins with an origin. Who made it? Why was it created? What happened to it before the party actually found it? An axe forged in the final moments of a siege, a necklace made from the tear of a dying Fey Queen, or a cloak stitched from the wings of a slain Celestial. These backstories don't just add flavor, they provide adventure hooks, emotional tension, and a world connection to your setting or anything else that you're building. And they don't always have to be revealed up front. Sometimes the story unfolds as the party uncovers it, piece by piece, dream by dream, vision by vision. So another thing we can do is add cost or consequence. Power should never be free. Maybe the item hungers, maybe the item speaks, maybe using it makes you dream of its previous wielder, and maybe their downfall as well. The point is, if an item is powerful, there should be stakes. Maybe the cost is social, maybe it's personal, or maybe it's part of the narrative, such as the more you use it, the closer a sealed doom becomes. Even better, you could let players choose to bear that cost. Let them wrestle with it. Another thing that you could do is show the world's reaction to that item. Does the world recognize the item? Is it feared? Is it revered? Is it stolen? A character walking into a town with the blade of the Hollow King strapped to their back should, get some stares. Maybe even lock doors or some fanatical followers if you really want to go to the extreme. What do old books say about it? What about bards? What do they sing? Priests or enemies? Use non-playable characters to show how the world reacts to the object. It makes the item feel real and actually heavy. And don't just show it once. Keep reminding the players that every time something happens, every time someone recognizes it, the item will gain gravity. So, I love this part, talking about how you can gamify something and not just, the fancy parts of why it matters in a story. So let's talk about the narrative setup and how we can make it mechanically engaging. Because players, of course, love systems that reinforce the story. Here are 3 of my favorite methods. One is progressive bonding, where we let the item grow with the player. At first, it's dormant, and as trust builds or milestones are hit, the item basically awakens. Think of something like at level 3, the item begins to whisper warnings. At level 7, it unlocks a hidden blade, and maybe at level 10, it asks for a favor and punishes refusal. So progressive bonding can turn items into mini character arcs, and that's pure gold for storytelling, honestly. Another thing that you could do is narrative triggers, where you basically tie new powers to story moments. The sword ignites only when used to protect, or the amulet sings when near its twin. The ring unlocks a door only if you forgive its last owner. Now, when the item reacts to choices that players make, it's not just XP milestones, it's actually something that matters and it's something that is memorable. Last but not least, we can also do something called reputation tags, where we give each item a tag that travels with the player. If you're carrying a specific item, maybe a cloak or something, then certain factions react differently. Whispers follow you, doors close or maybe even open. This is a design trick that makes players feel their choices matter, even if it's just in dialogue. It also creates plot momentum. Players really get curious. They want to know what makes this item important. So let me give you 2 of my personal favorite examples from some of my own published adventures. In Festival of the Lost, for example, the players receive the Calligrapher's Quill, a magical pen crafted from silver and gold, glowing with faint white light under the stars. Mechanically, it lets you write in any script or handwriting you've seen before, and under starlight it leaves glowing trails. Fancy, but still simple. Narratively though, it is Hiroshi's last tether to his deceased beloved. A poem written with it opens a gateway to the spirit realm, once and only once. So it's not just a tool, it's a farewell, it's the key to closure. When players use it, it actually means something. Then there's another thing that I've used in my own adventures, which is something a lot more powerful. In Queen's Fall, where players can uncover the orbs of power from the Fey plane. Each orb is tied to one of the Fey chords, and they pulse with the intent of their own creators. These aren't just trinkets. They are fragments of political history, magical dominance, and the lingering wheel of fallen queens. Using an orb can sift an entire encounter or force the hands of one too many archfey. The world recognizes them, and creatures bow to them or try to claim them. They aren't just tools, they are catalysts for changing the shape of an entire campaign. So here's a powerful tip. If you're ever stuck on a B-plot or looking for ways to deepen your campaign stake, look at your party's magic items. You can, for example, tie one of them to a lost faction or a dead religion. You can make another one a key to an ancient vault. Or you can have someone hunt an item, well, desperately if need be. You can make something the last relic of a failed prophecy. It can be very epic or it can be something very simple. In any case, magic items are like seeds. You can plant them early and you can let them grow. So they can spiral into rivalries, dungeon quests, faction conflicts, or even personal drama. But we need to also say that there is, of course, an important caveat to all of this. Not every item needs a name and a prophecy or a cursed past. In fact, that can be exhausting for you and your players. You should pick one item per arc, one item per party member, one item per major act of your campaign. That's usually enough, honestly. You want magic items to feel special, not like something that is a routine thing that you do. You want players to find cool loot as well. Boots of leaping, or potions and runes and utility scrolls, or fancy spell scrolls. This helps support the world without needing narrative weight. That way, when they find that one blade, that one ring, that one mask or something, well, it will matter. So magic items can be a lot more than just tools. They can be echoes of history, they can be anchors of consequence and catalysts of transformation. They can be mirrors for your players. They can be shadows of forgotten wars. I'm sounding way too fancy now, but you get it. They can be lies and gifts and warnings and burdens. You don't just think about what the item does, you think about what the item means. And when you do, your world will get deeper, your players will get more invested, and your adventures will become a lot more memorable. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I do want to hear from you. What is the most memorable magic item that you've ever made or found in a game? Let me know in the comments, and I'd love to hear your stories. As always, if you enjoyed watching this, hit the like button, subscribe, and follow for more weekly narrative design content. And if you want more, then be sure to check out my Patreon, where I release exclusive ttrpg content every single month. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons who help me do what I love to do the most. And until next time, may Starlight guide your way, my friends. Bye bye!